travel. So that's quite funny. That's quite funny that the experts are.
And it's difficult to reduce air travel. So we have other means of transportation that will.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
Connecting countries and with the speed.
That's
the whole
right.
thing is time. Everyone is time conscious.
That's correct. Air travel is all about speed. Right. Then ending incentives to fly. You know, the frequent flyer programs that most airlines engage in order to habituate their customers and keep them coming back. So they are saying that something has got to be done to end those incentives to fly. Now, if we go to click 2, we'll continue with suggested means of reducing environmental impact of aviation. Number 6 is saying governmental constraints on demand for aviation services. So it's calling on government to intervene. We're going to be seeing the details of those as we go. Maybe if we don't finish in part 2, we'll do part 3 and take it from there. Now, number 7, you say international regulations of air travel. The GHG emissions. Number 8 is involvement in emissions trading. I'm going to explain that to you when we get to those. Number 9 is International Civil Aviation Organization Members Agreement. We're going to see what they say and then see how their experts are proposing that we reduce the impact of aviation on our environment. Let's go to click 3 very quickly. Are we there? Right. Aircraft efficiency. That's one of the ways that's been suggested to reduce the environmental impact of aviation. Aircraft manufacturers, conscious of the negative impact aviation is making in the world's environment, are currently striving for reductions in both carbon dioxide, as the CO2, and oxides of nitrogen, the NOx, emissions in each new model design of aircraft and engines. So they are really doing everything to do designs that will be compliant with less emission of carbon dioxide and oxides of nitrogen.
But how long would that be?
Well, it's a continuous process. You're going to see as we go what the likes of NASA, that is the National Aeronautical and Space Administration in the U.S., and then even Boeing, the manufacturers of the Boeing airplanes. You'll see some of the initiatives that they have. The question I thought you should be asking is, which of the initiatives come from Nigeria? Who says we can't do something? Even as a non-aviator, non-pilot, but the #1 aviation freak in the world, I'm proud of Nigeria. Don't interrupt me now. Let me land.
When it comes to that,
let me land.
When it comes to that, for now we don't have the capacity to produce aircraft.
Joe, I don't agree.
And because we don't have the capacity.
Joe, I don't agree. This is the attitude that must end.
No.
This attitude you have is what is keeping us down. You didn't let me land on what I was saying about my humble self.
Do we manufacture spare parts here? Let's start with the
Joe, the fact that we don't does not mean that we can't. For goodness sake, Innocent, right there at Nnewi in Anambra State. Fortunately, where I come from, I'm a Navy man from Anambra State, and proudly so, I associate myself with the good jobs that Innocent is doing out there. All right, and the young man is manufacturing cars. He is not assembling cars. He is manufacturing. So you can go to his factory and take a look. So stop telling me that we can. We just choose not to, and it gets me angry when I discuss issues like this. Even as a non-aviator, non-pilot, and #1 aviation freak in the world, proudly from Nigeria, my humble self, that I have a lot that is financially intensive that I can do for aviation here. I've got them all there, but Joe, I've got to be careful who I give my blueprint to. because already I have an issue in hand that is right there, in court for about 1.5 years right now, on creative economy, So you don't want to be careless with your intellectual property, because what's going on is people are taking advantage of the legal system.
Anyways,
taking advantage. So we can.
To do
So whole lot we can do.
Because using in Anambra State as an example.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes. And the question will be, how soon will that be? How soon?
I can tell you that if that young man turns his focus, and I've been talking to him on those lines, any day he turns his focus on aviation, he will manufacture airplane parts that will match the quality anyone wants to talk about in the world. Any day he turns his attention to aviation.
Okay, now
I have access to him. He's my younger, distant, cousin, and I have been talking to him. And the day I convince him to turn his attention to aviation, this country will see something different. We must stop this attitude of we can't.
Okay,
that's a lot we can do.
To clip 3. Well,
no, we're still on clip 3.
Yes.
Right. Let's continue with this. Very well. Although introduction of new aircraft presents an opportunity to reduce emissions per passenger kilometer flown, aircraft being a major investment that lasts for many decades, delay realizing the climate benefits of improvements made in the design. The fact that aircraft is a major investment that lasts for many decades, so we usually have delays in realizing the benefits of the new technologies being built into the system. Are we okay? Right. So that's about clip 3. If we get to clip 4,
yeah, but when it comes to the issue of environment, and you talked about the fact that there should be regulation, or one of the recommendations is that the frequency at which people travel via the faithful machine, the airplane, should be reduced. How possible is that?
Come again with that.
One of the recommendations to reduce emission of gases from plane,
yes, right.
Of course, the environment is that the frequency at which people travel via the faithful machine, the airplane, be reduced.
Oh yeah, that's what experts are. I don't know how they're going to achieve that, because more people are flying. As people appreciate the fact that they need to save the stress of traveling by road. The people are saving. People are really saving all over the world to fly, and so it doesn't seem that bit will be achieved, reducing.
The frequency.
No, I don't see that happening, but it's one of the suggestions made. But so remember last week we discussed about increasing fare.
Such suggestion, don't you think, is dead on arrival?
Well, it looks like it.
For example, how do you stop the president from traveling?
Yeah, I do understand that, but people just brainstorming. It doesn't mean that whatever they say will happen. It doesn't really mean that. So let's get to clip 4. Clip 4 is saying operations efficiency is one of the things that Boeing's Eco Demonstrator Program. Note that name, Eco Demonstrator Program, is a very special program by Boeing's. That's looking at fuel efficiency and the noise reduction in airplanes. And people are working hard every day, out there to provide solutions. So Boeing's Eco Demonstrator Program is one of the world initiatives aimed at improving the efficiency of commercial aircraft operations. That is in terms of fuel efficiency and noise reduction. Okay, the United States government is supporting such programs through grants. Note that United States government is supporting such programs through grants, not loans, grants, money given away. Take this, you experts, go and do this, get us solutions. All right? Don't pay back. Just take it, invest it, and get us solutions. That's the meaning of grant. Okay? Some of such programs include, number one, continuous lower energy emissions and noise program, CLEAN, by the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA. All right? Then that is one of the programs they are doing, the one they call continuous lower energy emissions and noise program, with acronym as CLEEN, CLEAN. All right? Environmentally responsible, number two is environmentally responsible aviation project, ERA, by the U.S. National Aeronautic and Space Administration, NASA. They are doing another one called environmentally responsible aviation project. People are working to keep us healthy and alive. We must join in Nigeria.
That means if it begins to yield a positive fruit, it will extend to Nigeria.
Definitely.
Yes.
But what it means is that we continue to spend our hard currency to buy technologies that they are producing out there when we can produce here. We have good brains. We are just not investing on the brains we have. We've got solid, good brains, whiskies amongst the young people right now. The other day I ran into one and he amazed me in my office when I took him on a few things electronically and a few things that could happen to aviation. What that young man shared with me, positively speaking, shocked me. We've got a lot of good brains in Nigeria, but a lot of these people are just wasting away because we don't have
enabling environment.
We don't have the enabling environment, and we don't have,
like you said, grant money is of course given. As we speak now, you and I know that ASU is on strike, and part of the reason why they are on strike is because monies for research is not coming. Well, when you are not doing research,
well, Joe, what's keeping me going?
Let's look at clip.
Yeah, but I must tell you this: what was keeping me going is that I have the privilege of knowing that government is coming up with comprehensive way of recovering all the loots wherever they are. It will soon be unleashed on this nation. And I am happy to know that government is working. We need to show that looting is not only unacceptable but futile. Until we send that message that it's all futile, future generation of politicians and those that have access to government activities will not change.
They
will not change. But I am happy. I have a privileged information that something is happening, and soon, all this will be recovered.
Loots have been recovered, but from more even from the days of Obasanjo,
including those invested in properties littered in every nook and cranny of the federation. They will all be recovered soon. Be sure of that.
What do we do with them when they recover?
We are sharing ideas, aren't we? And people are listening. We must organize programs that will develop our people and give smart ones grants to give us solutions. They are there. They're just in a hopeless state, financially speaking, and can't help. And if somebody is listening and somebody is watching and listening to what we're discussing here, when this money is coming, we should create programs. I have one that I can give this nation on aviation.
Let's look at it.
On aviation.
For want of time.
That's correct.
We have 2 clips to go and then
5 is operation. Let's go to clip 5, please. Clip 5. Here we go, Joe. Operations efficiency continues. One of the proposed changes in the idea of adding is the idea of adding an electric drive to the nose wheel of airplanes in order to avoid use of engines during ground handling. Normally when a plane is taxiing maybe from one point to the other or going to the hangar for some slight maintenance, the engines are put on, is burning jet A1 for those jet engines, and still adding to the environmental, situation that we have on our hands already. But manufacturers are thinking of installing powerful electric motors to the nose wheel of airplanes, so that if you want to roll the airplane from one point of the airport to the other, you don't need to start the engines. You just turn on the electric motor and roll the aircraft to the hangar or back to the concourse.
That's the way you reduce emission.
That's correct. People are thinking we must join. Now, another idea being considered is integrating an electromagnetic aircraft launch system to the airstrips of airports. If accomplished, this will enable civilian aircraft to take off with less fuel. Ship resident war aircraft don't just take off with their own engines. They have what is known as catapult. High-powered hydraulic system that the plane is hooked onto, and as the pilot is ready to take off, first of all he pulls his full power. The engines are vibrating and blasting away, but held down by the catapult. And as soon as the button is pushed, pop, it flings the aircraft with a great force that gives it the necessary speed to get into the air within a short distance. That is what is known as catapult. They are thinking of building and installing one on our airstrips, so that planes can be hauled into the air without those
taxiing and all of that.
Not just you will taxi and be in a position, then be connected to the launch system. But what the launch system does is that it increases the speed of takeoff without engine power. So you save fuel. It makes the engine fuel efficient. So that's it. So clip 6, alternative fuels. As a way of saving our environment from aviation-induced pollution, scientists and companies such as GE, that's the General Electric Aviation, and Virgin Fuels are researching biofuel technology for use in jet aircraft. At the moment, some aircraft, the two-stroke diesel engines, are known to use straight vegetable oil. Can you believe that? Then some other engines are known to run on ethanol. All right? As part of tests of possible use of alternative fuels for aircraft, Virgin Atlantic Airways flew a Boeing 747 from London Heathrow Airport to Amsterdam Schiphol Airport on 24th February 2008 with one engine burning a combination of coconut oil and babassu oil. And the reason they are dedicated one engine to run on those, just in case it fails or something went wrong. The other engines will can take the aircraft to the nearest airport and land safely. So because it's a test they are doing, they want to see how the performance will be. So a particular fuel tank containing coconut oil and babassu, a combination of coconut and babassu oil, fed one engine. And that engine worked well until it landed at Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam from Heathrow. Excuse me. So,
with that coconut oil, and compare it to what we have, as in what we are using,
Jet A1.
Jet A1.
Yeah.
Now, which one is better in terms of environmental friendly?
That's the combination of coconut oil and babassu. That's why they are testing to ensure that if eventually the world accepts that those can be used, that it won't one day fail mid-air and slaughter people. So tests will go on and on and on and on. And I can tell you, Joe, that tests are going on quietly and secretly. This particular one, just happened to maybe it was a pilot case.
And which means if it's passed the test, it's really going to be, not only environmental friendly,
oh sure,
but
cheaper,
create job.
and it's going to
go into the production.
That's correct, very correct. And we have them in abundance in the whole of Africa. Nigeria can choose to all these bare lands that you have from where you come from, all the lands. Look at stretching from Abuja all to Lokoja, and then get to Ayamba's, axis, taking you all the way to Otopa. And all littered everywhere, wasting, and we're just doing nothing. Is that laziness or what? What's wrong with us?
Well, you can ask that question again and again. Now, just before we go, let's get some sort of advice to the Minister of Aviation, Malam Hadi Sirika, of course, on what we need to do on our own part, because, like you said, we just cannot continue to rely on international agencies.
And spending our heart in what's scarce foreign exchange.
What we also need to do when our thinking cap to reduce emission on our
we just have to. This is only part 2 that we've just done today. There's much more. We're going to do part 3 and possibly part 4. My business, like I always say to you, Joe, is to dole out very valuable information. And my hope is that somebody out there is listening. And Joe, as you well know, for both of us, it's a whole lot of time, energy, and for me, also money spent to be on air and to dole out free information. What else can you do to show that you love your nation? I'm doing my bit. I hope those out there will do theirs so that we can have a better Nigeria. I end my case here.
Well, I must thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. And my dear viewers, please, thank you for watching.
Yeah, this is where we wrap up this discussion segment. We've been looking at the environmental impact of aviation. Quite a lot. Carbons are emitted, and that can cause so many diseases. Of course, last week we talked about what it can do to human, what it can do to skin. Well, we don't know what kind of cancer that will be, but there's the need for everyone to put on a thinking cap towards ensuring that these environmental risk, coming from aviation is mitigated. It has been with the aviation freak himself. I call him the #1 aviation freak in Nigeria, a man who has gone to so many lands to, of course, get a knowledge on aviation. And he also proposed us a licensed estate surveyor and valuer. One wonders what is a licensed estate surveyor doing in aviation. Once again, thanks for coming.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Joe.
We'll come back. It shall be time to, of course, look at the perspective of religious leaders when it comes to tackling hate and divisive speeches. When we come back, the senior pastor, Vision and Harvest Church International, Pastor Frank Oladue, as well as the senior pastor of Champions Chapel, of course, Pastor Omotola Deba, will be here to tell us the perspective of religious leaders when it comes to tackling hate. Stay with us.